welcome back. I am Madison Sherrill, and I am here for the Diamond Niner Gals podcast. And this week, I am joined by Nick.
What's going on, Niner Nation? I'm excited about being here.
We're happy you're back. And as always, we have producer Brad.
Hey.
And then if you like what we're doing here, you like listening, make sure to follow on social media and to listen on Spotify and YouTube. And then this week, we got our head Niner, Coach Courtney.
What's going on? Good to see everybody.
Yeah, welcome back. I feel like it's been too long.
It's been a minute. It's good to be back.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like we all, I think it's safe to say that we all had a pretty good weekend here, guys. But, Coach, I don't think we had as good a weekend as you did.
The weekend was good. There's no doubt. I think anytime you're able to put 3 games together and, talk about the brooms, you're feeling pretty good. So happy for the girls and just proud of the effort we had this weekend.
Definitely. I think what is the saying? It's the hardest thing to do in sports is to beat a team 3 times in a row.
Yeah.
So when I saw that last game, I was like, oh yeah, this is serious. I got to bring out my broom.
Yeah, I know. Again, we dealt with weather all weekend. We dealt with, we're going to play it this time. We're going to play it that time. We're going to try to play here, try to play there. But, just figured it out. And I don't know how we got 3 games in, but we did. And just excited that we were able to put it all together. And regardless of kind of the situation and kind of the, I don't know, just not knowing really when we're going to play and what it's going to look like. Just excited about how we were able to come out and start the weekend, continue the weekend, and finish the weekend. So love that.
Yep. I do want to ask one question. We always talk about the good, but I'm going to be a little bit of a Debbie Downer. I want to talk about the bad for a second. I talked about not the bad, but more of the growth, I guess. We talked last weekend, and I think I asked Tegan and Liv, like, bouncing back from games. And I think the hardest thing to do is go from a loss and then leave Charlotte to then go play a conference tournament. Can you just kind of touch on the Chapel Hill game of like what we could have done better, how we move forward, and then going into our first game in Tulsa, like you said, weather wasn't looking great. Things were kind of up in the air, and then we get the win. So what kind of changed for the girls?
Yeah, I just think the Chapel Hill, like, we just didn't show up ready to play for whatever reason. I think we were close in the first couple. I think they scored 3 in the first inning, 4 in the second inning. And, you're pretty out of a game like that when you're down by 7 to a good team that has, multiple arms that are good and, have the hitters that they do. And I think, for us, we were close in those innings to getting out. I think we were close in the first inning to getting out. And, we needed to do a lot better, honestly. I think every facet of the game, we weren't sharp. We didn't play kind of Charlotte softball. We didn't play our brand of ball. And I think, I got on the girls pretty good on Wednesday, probably as good as I've gotten on them all year. And, I think for all of us, we're wanting to continue to grow in the midweek games. And, we've had a lot of tough games. We've got this kind of ACC slate in the midweek, and we want to continue to put our best foot forward in those games. And I think, we've had the games against a lot of tough opponents, and we don't have a whole lot of like outcomes to show of it, but we've been able to put together really competitive games for the most part. And, for us, a game like that, it's just, it's not the standard that we have here. And, it's just really not acceptable to kind of just lay an egg like that. And, we want to get better. We want to, continue to stack good days. And, frankly, I feel like we haven't played great in our midweeks, especially lately. Probably since Furman, we haven't played great. So, that's something that we're challenging the girls a little bit to kind of get something going, and whether it's just wake up, or we just got to be more consistent within those games, clean up the defense, make better pitches on the mound, and put together better at bats. It just really, we just didn't have a whole lot to show for anything. I think we got 2 hits in the first inning, and we had 2 hits the rest of the game. You just can't win that many games like that. So I think for us, we were just really trying to, leave that game in the past, and we got to move forward. I thought we had some good momentum after the ECU series, and the winning at FAU on the Sunday, going into the ECU series and being able to take the series at home. So I thought we had good momentum in conference, and I do think we have the ability to have a short memory in those time spans and just kind of get on to the next. And, for us, we felt like we had a really good opportunity to have a great weekend at Tulsa. And, for us as a team, I think one of the things that I challenged the girls on is like, we've got to fight like crazy to get to 500. I've got bigger goals than that, but that's right now, probably number one. We've got to fight to get these wins and get our record back to 500 and then keep climbing from there. So, just happy with how we responded from a game like that. And, I've told the girls, like, I can take getting beat. Like, we're going to get beat at times. You can't win every game, but it's how you get beat, and it's how you, represent the jersey across your chest. And we just got to continue to live up to that standard, and, continue to get better. So just really happy with how we bounced back this weekend, and, just again, continue to build that momentum within conference. And, we got a big game tomorrow that's going to be tough. A great team that can hit the crap out of the ball, that, has great pitchers and plays great defense. So we're gonna have our hands full, and hoping that we can put together a better midweek showing on the road.
Coach, you mentioned, or the weather was mentioned. It seemed to be sort of a factor all weekend. I know you guys were going to play 2 on Friday. You end up getting the 1 in, and canceled the second one. I'm assuming that had to do with temperature at that point, or was it more moisture?
Friday, it was just the field conditions, honestly. It was pretty slick out there. It was kind of making me nervous. They had a kid that took a pretty good spill in the left field foul corner there. And then right as the game was getting over, it was misting on us. It was warmer on Friday than it was on Sunday. But it just it was just misting enough where it's like, if the ground gets more wet, it's a little bit unsafe. And I think if it wasn't misting, we might have thought about continuing to play, but just right at that time it was. So it just felt like the field conditions, especially kind of in the foul lines, a little bit towards the outfield and stuff, it just was a little bit hairy. So, for us, it's about safety first. I mean, no coach wants a player to go down, especially if it's avoidable with weather like that. So, we wanted to play 2. The girls wanted to play 2. They were mad when, I turned around and was like, we're not, but just felt like it was a little bit unsafe and wanted to err on the side of caution. And, we're hopeful that we could try to get 2 in at some point during the weekend after that.
So with that being the case, you guys ended up with a lot of downtime. How do you try to keep college students focused and engaged while you're waiting out a situation like this with all that downtime you guys had?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say we did a whole lot. Like, the girls found on TikTok, I think, this coffee shop called 7 Brew. So every day they wanted to go there. Yeah, 7 Brew?
I know about it.
Yeah, so they were like, every time we got on the bus, we were like, "Can we go to Seven Brew?" And so we took them 3 of the 4 days we were there, or what? Yeah, we took them. We took them Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. They went to Seven Brew and got their coffees and their energy drinks or whatever they have there. So they were excited about that. On, I think, Friday before the game, they really wanted Raisin Canes. That was the other thing that they were dying for. So we're like, okay, we hit on Friday morning. And we went immediately to Seven Brew and immediately to Raisin Canes. Then we went back and played at 6. So, Saturday we were kind of waiting around thinking that we were maybe going to play at 4. And then when the decision was made around 12:30 or so that we were going to not play. So we took them to hit again. And Tulsa, we were hitting in the indoor. They had like kind of one cage that was split, but it was a whole turf situation. So they had the football out, they had the volleyball out, and they were just messing around. They were hitting, and then once they were done, they were just kind of messing around. They play their game, the signs game that they have, and just doing it. I think they might have mic'd up Liv, so who knows what's coming out of that. I didn't get the info there, so we'll see. But yeah, and then that day they went to dinner together. So just kind of let them go. There were basketball games going on, so a pretty big group of them went to dinner together, and just kind of did that. And then Sunday was early, so it happened quick. But it was a lot of just kind of sitting around waiting.
Now, Maddie, you don't get to laugh like that and not share with everybody else because.
No, what cracked me up the most is your. Can we go to Seven Brews? Because I can in my ear, it's like you just took me back to the bus, and I'm sitting there. Please, we have to go.
It's like all the voices in the back of the bus, just like Seven Brew.
That's why I'm laughing so hard. Is that like I need everyone listening to know that's exactly what it probably sounded like. And because when we would go places, and has Courtney or Nick, have you ever had Dutch Bros?
Yes. Before? There's a Dutch Bros there.
It's a coffee place. It has a whole bunch of stuff. They have other drinks, all that stuff. They're mostly on the West Coast. So when we played in Arizona, I was the person who was like, can I please get Dutch Bros?
Yeah.
So I can empathize with the girls, and I'm glad that they got their fix while they were there all 3 days.
Well, Sunday, we had a drop dead time, and then the game was kind of getting closer to finishing, and then we saw our flight was delayed. And so after the game, that was it. And then the coaching staff was trying to figure out what the heck we were going to do in Tulsa. And we told the girls that we were staying the night. And then it was in the group me like, I think this calls for another trip to Seven Brew. So, they got their fix. They got their fix for sure.
Now, I have been to a Raisin Canes.
They're good.
It's Zaxby's.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
It's not.
I don't know.
I'll die on this.
Al.
It was pretty good.
I mean,
Zaxby's is not as consistent as Raisin Canes.
That's probably a good way to put it.
I think Zaxby's could be that good, but to be honest with you, it's been terrible. I've never been to Raisin Canes, and it's been terrible.
Yeah.
So that's my take. I'm glad that
it's not a hill I'm looking to die on. I'm not even looking to fight on that hill.
Good. So I win.
But the first time I went there, I was like, oh.
It's similar. Yeah.
It's okay. I'll get the hate mail. That's all right. That's fine. This is not my first time getting hate mail.
It won't be your last either.
No, definitely not.
Well, going back to game 1, I know weather and all that stuff, but I kind of want to give some shout outs. Brooke Bolin with 7 innings.
Let's go.
Complete game. 3 hits, I think.
Yeah. Shout out.
Can you kind of talk about her in the circle a little bit? I know Alyssa. Happy birthday, Alyssa. Little shout out for her. I know she deals with the pitchers, but I know it's kind of a group effort. So can you kind of talk about her in the circle and how great she's been recently?
Yeah, no, I mean, just kind of Alyssa. Alyssa has been working really hard with the whole pitching staff, and I know her and Brooke have had a lot of sessions together, but also just kind of a lot of like talking and just trying to work through things physically, mentally. And that's kind of where I think Alyssa's really good too with all the pitchers, is just being able to relate and being able to kind of like dig deeper and like, okay, this is the physical part, but what about the mental? And like, how do we, how do we put it all together and get to be our best self out there? And I think, we've seen Brooke pitch really well this year. It's just about the consistency, but she's given us a lot of great starts and kept us in a lot of games. And I think, for us, it was just great to see her go out this weekend and just have the success she had. I think, a big part of it is just like she was able to command the zone. She was able to get ahead of a lot of hitters, and she was making good pitches, and for the most part, making good pitches. And her counts, I think, you go to North Carolina, and that was one of the things that, we kind of challenged her on. Like, I think she gave up, a couple hits that scored runs in an 0-2 count. And just wanting to be smarter and be more precise in those situations when you have control of the at bat, making sure that you're making a good pitch and making it tough on the batter. And, for her, she just really put a great game together. I mean, gosh, I don't know what the stats are just off the top of my head, but had Ks. I mean, I don't know if they hit a ball hard that entire game. Just a lot of mishits. And I thought she fielded her position really well. She made a couple plays that I thought she got off the mound, quick and made the play. And, just really happy for her. And for us getting a start like that in the circle, a complete game shutout. I mean, you're going to win those games, right? Complete game shutouts. But especially when you go with our offense behind our pitchers like that. I mean, I told the girls after that game, I thought that was the most complete game we played all year, probably, or close to it. And just felt like, we played good defense. We, Brooke pitched great, and, we put runs on the board. So just really happy with the whole performance, but, definitely for Brooke, a huge game. And then two, she got a day of rest and came back Sunday, game 2, not even give you a different look and then go to back to her. It was just, let's do it again. And, really other than the leadoff batter that day, Macy Cole, I mean, Brooke again had their number for another 7 innings, and just, just fought and pitched really well. So, just super happy with, the innings that she was able to give us and to get 2 wins, against a good conference team. Just really proud of her and proud of the way she responded from, her outing at North Carolina and then what she was able to do this weekend. Just a huge bounce back and a huge boost for us as a team.
And sticking with your Friday theme, Maddie, can't let it pass without giving a shout out to London.
Yeah.
Slam. Have you noticed that people appear on this show, Maddie, and then they do big things? I don't know. Could be a thing. But
we loosen them up. We get them laughing. That's what happens.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, you guys always have me laughing. That's for sure. So yeah. And then just all weekend, Tegan. I'm sorry, Miss Jackson, but Tegan just on a tear all weekend, really.
She was. I mean, I think both her and Jenna missed at least one more home run each just because of the wind and how heavy it was blowing in. But I'll laugh at Tegan. She was like, "Man, I bat flipped on that one. It didn't even get out." So It happens, but I mean, she was seeing the ball really well, and she was singing that song, and it was really working for her. So we'll keep that going. But just awesome to see her put those good at bats together. And I told the team yesterday after the game, it was like London, Jenna, Tegan, Kari, and it's like that's pretty scary when those four are hot and doing what they're doing. Right there in the middle of the lineup. That's a really tough group to get by.
Definitely. It's hard when you're like, okay, I got through that one. Oh, damn, I got another one. Yeah. Oh, and I got another one. Oh, yeah. And yeah, she also can hit them out. Oh, great. Perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, that's how you get people pitches to hit.
Exactly.
I mean, you got to pitch to somebody.
Mm-hmm. And then, that next person's got to make it hurt.
Always do.
Yeah, that was awesome. I was just impressed that somebody Tegan's age knew who Outcast was, but
he's an old soul.
As I learned that, I picked up on that last week. She is a bit of an old soul. I can respect that.
Yeah, all the girls like the throwbacks,
That's in right now, Nick. The young kids, they like the oldies,
So in a weird way, producer Brad and I are coming back in style. Is that what's happening here?
You never left, but yeah, we could say that.
Oh, yeah, we did.
I might say the early 2000s are the oldies now.
I was just going to say, I think that's where we're at.
Yeah, it's crazy. All the songs that when the song comes on, I'm like, this is when I was in high school. This is when I was in college. And they're like, oh my gosh, I was in kindergarten. Like,
yeah,
dang.
well, you see those, not that you guys would pay attention to these things, but like from like the Wonder Years, which was a show when I was a kid, and the meme will say like, that if Wonder Years was a show today, it would be about, and it was like 1995 or something like that. Mm-hmm. And I'm like,
it's crazy. Doesn't feel like that should be the case.
Yeah, but we got to do something with that. We got to get the gold mine singing Miss Jackson and Maddie.
That's easy.
I feel like that's got to happen.
That's easy.
Coach, what do you? I mean, we were talking about this a little before we went on, but you guys, I'm kind of starting to look a little forward here. Your schedule is starting to open up. Not that there's any. You don't take anything for granted. There's no cupcakes left on the schedule or anything like that. But with the way you're scheduled, that first month of the season, you guys played. And then when you got into conference play, you played all the top teams. I mean, basically there's 4 teams ahead of you guys in the standings, and you've already played them all. So you're playing the bottom half of the league to close out. But, this is why you're battle tested, right? This is why you play the tough games, in order to put yourself in position to capitalize when the schedule does become a little more favorable.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think, it's been a tough stretch really throughout the season. And, there's no easy games. Like, anybody can beat anybody on any given day. And I think you see that within all of softball, but you see that within our conference week in and week out. You just kind of, you see teams knocking each other off and splitting series. And I think, for us, we've talked about kind of splitting the season up, the beginning, the tough non-conference, and then conference play. And, you can look at it like that. We played a lot of the top teams, when you talk about preseason rankings, you talk about the rankings where things are at right now. Played those teams already, and now we're kind of on the back end. And I think for us, like, we can't look at it like that. It's just one game at a time, and it's the opponent in front of us. And I think really all the teams in the conference continue to get better and have the ability day in and day out. So yeah, I mean, I definitely think we're battle tested. I think that we wish maybe we had a few more results and a few things that, went a little differently, and our record could look even better, but that's kind of the way it goes. And I think, for us, we're really, focused on what's ahead and focus on, finishing strong. And I think that because we're battle tested and maybe we don't have the results or the outcomes, we've still gained confidence throughout the tough games because of how we've been able to compete, how we've been able to play, how we've been able to hit and pitch to good hitters. And I think that we have a lot of confidence and we're starting to see it. I mean, again, we talk about we've played the toughest, some of the toughest teams in the conference, and we, out of 5 weekends, we've won 3 series. We, were able to take one from FAU, and you wish you could go back to the South Florida Friday and see that differently. But we're tested, we're gaining confidence through it, and right now we just feel like we're right on that cusp of really having a breakaway and going and making a big run. And, that's what I'm hopeful for. That's what I believe that this team has, the ability to do, and we're very capable. But we got to go play the games, and we've got to go kind of show it on the field.
And Maddie, before I generate even more hate mail for myself, I want to throw that caveat in there that the schedule is opening up on the weekends, the conference schedule, because the midweek is still Murderer's Row, starting with Virginia Tech at number 11, Virginia Tech on tomorrow. We're recording this on Monday. And then another midweek against Duke, who also plays a little bit of softball as well. So, yeah, but before somebody's like, oh, the schedule's still hard. Yeah, it is. Can't take anything for granted, but those midweeks, coach, still looks like Murderer's Row right now.
Yeah, we're still on that ACC swing, and we're still facing again those top teams in the country, not even the conference. Like, they're both in the mix of hosting regionals, hosting super regionals, and for us, it's a great opportunity to go compete and go give it our best shot. And we want to win. I mean, that's my goal. I want to win, but regardless, like, just being able to compete in those games are going to continue to help us learn, continue to help us grow, and continue to put us, going in the right direction for the rest of the conference and the rest of, tournament play.
Yeah, there's nothing like those midweeks, though. You're like, oh, perfect. We just got back. Great. We're going to Duke. Stuff. But like you said, you grow from it. And, this is my thing, is it's like, it always makes your weekends look easier. Because you're like, well, we just played Duke.
It does.
We can play Memphis. That's no problem. So it always makes it feel
a good mind trick. It's a good mind trick there.
The mind's a powerful tool. You just gotta trick yourself.
Yeah. And I mean, these 2 weeks we have, like, we were at North Carolina, at Tulsa, we're at Virginia Tech, at Memphis. I mean, we're not at home very much. We're really on the road with each other, and it's tough. Like, it's a grind, especially kind of this mid part of the year, but we're enjoying it. And I think I love getting on the road with the girls. I think that I think it really has been good for us to be on the road, and has helped the team continue to come together and do things together.
I think
you guys are another 8 days away from your next home game.
Yeah, we're gonna work on that for next year, like I said.
I remember one of the girls last week said they liked being on the road because you guys get to do a whole bunch of stuff. Well, now that I'm learning that we're getting Raisin Canes, and we went to Buc-ee's and we get 7, whatever it is, 7 brew, I don't know. I would also like to be on the road. That's what I'm learning, is that with you guys, it's fun being on the road because you get to go to all these places.
Well, Saturday we missed out because, if we would have played 2 on Friday, we wouldn't have even tried to play on Saturday. So we probably would have done something even better.
What is there to do in Tulsa?
We were looking at some spots. There's always a arcade with, maybe some go-karts. You kind of need to be indoors for that, or laser tag. That's always good. Laser tag, just, zing, zing. Just hiding around.
What?
Courtney, the more I get to know her, the more I think I know her. And then she'll say things, and I'm like, You just said go-karting.
Yeah, why not?
Well, I know
We dabbled it. We looked at pickleball, but I'm like, that's a little sketchy. I don't know. But they had some. We were looking for anything
Courtney's like,
other
it's
than
an
the
off day.
movies. Just
She's
like,
like, it's an off day. We might go, I don't know, paintballing. Haven't decided yet.
Well, see, I had all my I told the girls this Saturday, like they went to dinner, but I had I played at Arkansas for 2 years, so multiple of my friends are in Tulsa. So I got to hang with them that night, go to dinner, and we went over to my friend's house and we just watched the basketball games, and there was like 12 of us there. So it was cool for me to kind of get to a spot that, I had my friends, and, the girls got to get out of the hotel and, go watch some games and stuff together. So it was good.
That's always fun.
Maddie, maybe we need to send you on the road as a correspondent.
There you go.
I don't think Courtney wants that.
Why not?
Hey, I'm always about it. I mean,
we're reporting live.
Reporting live.
The best I can offer you, Maddie, is that we can talk to corporate about it, but I'm just going to tell you they are notoriously cheap.
I've met them a couple of times. I got that vibe.
Yeah.
Well, on another positive note, I did want to highlight this. We talked about splitting the season up. So we got 4 tough. We had talked about it in the early. It's going to test us. We're going to grow. And it was a common theme defensively. We had made a lot of errors. I want to highlight that this weekend we made 1 error.
Yeah.
So how do you feel like that goal of using the tough games? We talked about the midweeks. We talked about the struggles and all that stuff. Do you feel like that has really grown? Because I think last week, Tegan and Liv mentioned it a little bit, how they feel like the team really has come together. And you had mentioned that a couple of times. Do you think that's helped with the defensive gelling and meshing?
Yeah, I do. I think like just getting to know each other better, getting maybe a little bit closer. And as you go through kind of the ups and the downs and the positive, but also the tough times, that really shows, who you are as a person and as a teammate and who your teammates are for you. And I think that we have done a great job of really being encouraging and being there for each other and really trying to pick each other up. I think, the infield, I think Jenna maybe mentioned it or somebody mentioned it maybe on the podcast, like talking about being a heartbeat and like really wanting to work in towards the pitcher after the pitch and then work back to their spots. And I think the more that they can do that, the more that they're kind of making contact with the pitcher and the pitcher's not feeling like they're on an island by themselves. And then, when they're walking back, they're kind of checking out the outfielders. And I think when you kind of get settled, I think just, personnel, moving around a little bit and just kind of getting more comfortable in positions and playing on, maybe what side of the field they are with their teammate or, with the outfielders. I think all that plays into it. And I just feel like we were better at defense than we were at the beginning of the year. Like regardless of the numbers, I felt like we have the personnel that we can be better. I feel like, we can continue to do that. And I think that we have done a lot better job of that for the most part. In the last few weeks of the season and, really want to see that continue to get better and better. And, it's the errors and sometimes it's the plays that don't end up as errors that, we feel like, hey, she can make that play. And I think we've done a better job all around of cleaning that up and, having each other's backs and, just being there. So I am happy with that. That's definitely a positive. And, I think we can even get better and better.
What I thought was funny there, Maddie, is you brought it up as a total positive, the 1 error. But when you mentioned the 1 error, it's such a coach thing. Courtney still winced.
I know. I noticed that, and I was like, ooh.
There was 1 error, but there was a couple plays that should have been made, and I think that their scores were nice to us. The pitchers would say that they weren't that nice to them because they ended up as earned runs rather than runs. But, that's kind of what happens. But no, I mean, again, the defense played well. Don't get me wrong. I just thought that there was more than one. But again, I think, the pitchers, Brooke, like I said earlier, Brooke made some plays. Jenna made some really good plays. Our outfielders made some good plays. And, Sav wasn't available for us on Sunday, and Kari got right back into first base and looked good there, and made some really good plays there. So just all around, I think the confidence is growing, and we just got to keep being sharp and keep focusing and not losing focus in the little plays, and just continuing to take care of the routine.
It was still great though. Only one error.
Oh, Nick, I'm glad you said something, because I was talking and I was trying to keep my train of thought, and I saw your face, Courtney, and I was like, oh, can I take the question back? I was like,
no, it was.
Well, the one was still painful. Oh
no, I thought I was surprised that when you said it, that there was only one error this weekend.
It was only one on the box score.
It was very clean. It was very clean. It is a positive.
Hey, you can always improve. So anytime I say something, you're gonna be like, we could have done this better. That's great. Exactly. If you're content with where you are, then that's not great.
No, it has been a big improvement. Like I said, to me, these 3 games at Tulsa were like, we put 3 games together, like complete, like all 3 facets of the game for the most part. That last inning got a little bit away from us, but like other than that, like we put the 3 games really together. So just really happy with the effort from the girls and the focus, especially within how kind of at times chaotic it could have been.
So with we mentioned you got midweek, getting ready to go to Virginia Tech. That'll be tough, of course. Then you get to roll out to Memphis. So have you been to Memphis before? What's your experience in Memphis? This is first time?
Yeah, first time for me. I have not been there. I don't know what to expect, really. So, looking forward to getting out there and doing it. I guess, we'll have to take a peek at Beale Street at some point, because that's the spot. But other than that, I don't know, just go out there, get a couple wins hopefully, and get back.
Beale Street. Yeah, I mean, Beale Street's good. I mean, it's not, if you haven't been, go, but don't stay too late.
Yeah. Get home early.
I just had to Google. I had to Google what this was. I've never heard of this.
You don't know about Beale Street?
No, I'm not from here. I don't know about this.
I don't. That's what people have told me. Beale Street.
I'm looking at it.
Yeah, it's their party district, and Beale Street goes right down to the Mississippi River, and it would be like somebody. Again, I'm just attracting all the hate mail if somebody hears me say this, but like it would be like a Bourbon Street, not Bourbon Street, but kind of concept.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I haven't been to Memphis, so I'll check another city off my box here.
Yeah, and there's going to be live music on every corner.
I like that.
Send us videos.
Yeah. Piano bars, blues joints.
Because that's where you'll be taking the girls.
I don't know about that. We'll see what goes on. Again, I want the girls to stay safe.
Yeah. So
we've heard that our hotel is like a good spot. There's like a lot of food places around it and stuff. So that should be good.
As long as there's a coffee shop.
Exactly. We are close to a Starbucks this week.
I love that every week I think we talk about it, and it's like, well, we ate here and we did all this, and then next week we have this lined up. And don't worry, there's a Starbucks 0.2 miles away. We've already planned it. We've pre-ordered. It's my favorite.
You know, we're going to play games, but we also are living.
That's a missed part sometimes.
Gotta enjoy
Producer
it.
Brown was saying that they label themselves, that Beale Street is labeled America's most iconic street.
See, that's why I gotta go check it out.
Yeah, it seems
I
like
mean,
I don't know if that's true.
you have to check it out. Report back to me because I don't know if that slogan is 100% correct marketing because I've never heard of it. I've heard of a lot of other streets, but we'll have to see. You'll have to report back next week. We'll have to hear about the adventures.
Iconic, isn't it? Where like Elvis and there's a lot of that, isn't there?
Yeah, so Sun Records is in Memphis, and that's where Sam Phillips discovered Johnny Cash and Elvis, Carl Perkins, Jerry Lee Lewis.
Oh, yeah, iconic. I get that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you're into that, into some music history, the one thing I'd steer you away from is Graceland. It's really expensive and it is extremely underwhelming.
Okay.
I mean, if you're the world's biggest Elvis fan, go to Graceland. But if you're not, it's
I'm a fan, but not the world's biggest for sure.
Yeah, it's expensive. But yeah, I don't know about their facility or anything. I know Memphis just dumped some money in their baseball stadium. Not that it's great, but they FedEx Field, they put some money into it. Not sure about their softball stadium, but they're 4-11 in the league, hanging out 9 games back. So this is a good opportunity to put what all you guys have learned and improved on into practice.
That's the hope. And, for us, again, it doesn't matter if Virginia Tech or Memphis, like we've just got to worry about us and like let that take care of it. And again, if we put good at bats together, if we make good pitches and if we play good defense, like usually we got a shot.
Those are the 3 important things.
That's what I keep going back to, It's just you got to just play.
Yeah. It's nice to hear what, Nick?
Go ahead, Matt. Go ahead.
I was gonna say it's nice to hear. Oh, thank you. It's nice to hear that every time I talk to either you or it's players, it seems like everyone's on the same page with their verbiage, kind of like in a good way.
Yeah.
Like it seems like it's a common theme that everyone knows that if you guys just play Charlotte softball and you do your thing, then we are in the best possible position. It sounds like when we get out of ourselves, we don't get beat. We kind of beat ourselves. So even the girls kind of got that message. So I feel like we've really hit in stride and getting that of just focusing on ourselves and just winning games.
That's good. That's what we got to do. You can't play the opponent because you can get caught looking at the records, good or bad. And, you got to just play you and trust your game. So I'm glad the verbiage is all, we're all kind of figuring it out together and on the same page. So, excited for the next few weeks and excited for this week to, get back out there. And I know we're probably all a little tired, but, you get another opportunity to play the game, and that's what we're all here for.
Oh, yeah. Nick, it's your turn now. I'll let you go.
Well, I was looking this up. I was hoping I could get it a little easier, but looking at who's playing who this weekend, as far as it's kind of time to start thinking about conference standings. I mean, we're kind of coming down the home stretch, but ECU's in front of us. They're at Wichita State this weekend, but that's on the road. Let's see who South Florida's got. As fast as my internet connection
Tulsa.
Will carry me.
I'm pretty sure they have Tulsa, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, you're correct. So that might be an opportunity for them. North Texas. The great thing about you own the tiebreaker over 2 of the 4 teams in front of you. Let's see who North Texas has got. They're playing FAU. So there you go. 2 of the teams in front of you are playing each other this weekend. That's down in Boca. So somebody's going to lose some games.
Yeah. And
that's not a bad thing. So yeah, it's starting to the conference picture is starting to shape up, and Niners are in the hunt.
We're right there.
5 games.
Yeah.
5 games out of first, but FAU they've kind of earned their spot. But I would say for us, 2nd through 6th is pretty wide open, and we can be in that mix. Which, gosh, if anybody outside the program, outside the locker room, if anybody had said that that's where we'd be, with a month ago, that aspirations is high, really mathematically as high as 2nd. Man, there's a lot of people that would have signed on the dotted line for that right off the bat, and I'd have been one of them, right? I mean, I'd be like, wow, that's huge. So the job you guys have done, phenomenal.
I appreciate it. We've it's been a lot of fun, and we've seen a lot of growth with the girls, and myself and my staff have worked hard, and just again want to put the girls in a position that they can have success. And for them, they're just playing. It is like they're having fun, they're playing, and just love to see it for them. So we've got a lot of the season left. We've got a lot of games left, and just trying to focus in on one thing at a time, one day at a time, and we'll see where things shake out.
Definitely. Well, until next week, then I'll get a home game. But we got a long time. But I'm waiting until I can watch everyone on the field again, because I like watching all the girls. Like you're saying, everyone. It's very freeing. Everyone just feels like they're having a fun time. They're bat flipping even on home runs. Fine.
Well, and after this week, we got a lot more, time at home, which is good. We'll go on the road at Wichita, but Duke and Elon are coming to us on the midweek, which will be nice instead of us getting on the bus. So, excited to get through the week, and then excited to kind of go through and be at home a little bit more.
Agreed.
Maddie, can I plug one thing before you? I know you're going to close the segment, but can I plug one thing?
You're allowed.
I feel like this is worth it. So you're going to be seeing this, I suppose, on Tuesday. So on today, if you're watching this on the day it comes out, Tuesday the 8th, Niner Nation Gives starts. That's the 8th to the 10th. If you don't know about Niner Nation Gives, that's 49 hours of charitable giving where we celebrate all things UNC Charlotte. And the reason I'm bringing that up here is because our good friend and yours, Jimmy Touchstone, has put a challenge out on social media offering or looking for 10 people to give $60 each. Of course, the number 6 refers to the 6 that remained, the gals that remained from last year's team. If you can do $60 in their honor, he'll match it. He's looking for 10 people to do that. So I don't want Jimmy to get to keep any of his money, is why I'm saying this. So if you get a chance in the 49 hours during Niner Nation Gives, head on over to ninernationgives.charlotte.edu and donate to the Gold Gov Club and make Jimmy Touchstone give up his money.
Let's do it.
You know what, Nick? You read my mind. I actually was going to plug it because I was like, everyone needs to donate. And I was actually going to give Jimmy a shout out. I have been a part of these things that he does every year. He one year did a competition with I forget what it was, but he does it every year and I love it. So definitely donate if you're listening. It's awesome. And that's all we have here today. So as always, thank you, Coach Courtney. And we'll be back next week to talk about the weekend, and go Niners.
Go Niners.